Hey everybody, welcome back to BeyondCe podcast. Thank you for everybody that's been tuning in so far and that's tuning in today. Trust me, I really appreciate it. I hope you've been enjoying what you've been hearing and just know that there's more to come. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this episode. I got some fun stuff that I want to talk to y'all about. Like, I have like a notepad full of stuff. I feel like it because it's just been so much that's been going on. First of all, I got a bone to pick with like practically everybody, even though I just kind of found out about this show like last week or the week before. But why did no one tell me about P-Valley? Like, okay, I'm gonna admit. So I kept seeing stuff about it like on Instagram and I was like, what is P-Valley? Like, I just didn't think anything of it. Like, I think I saw where Megan Thee Stallion had shared something about it, but I just kept it pushing. And who was it? I think my sister had told me about P-Valley, and then one of my best friends had told me about it. And I finally watched an episode, and then I ended up finishing the whole season. And that show like had me hooked. First of all, I'm just still trying to figure out how old girl did some of these tricks that she was doing, even though like I'll admit, after watching the season finale, because I didn't want to look up anything and give anything away, I found her on Mercedes on Instagram. She's like a choreographer and she has did like so much. So I'm like, she probably really did that shit for real. When I tell y'all she was climbing up on that pole and then she did like, she spun around and then she put her feet up on the ceiling. It looked like she was like walking on the ceiling. I was like, what is this? What is this? This is like episode 1 or 2. I was like, oh my God. And not to mention, overall, it was good acting. I love the accents that was going on in this show. I love me some Uncle Clifford in the, at the pank. Like, y'all, when I tell y'all I got my whole life from that show and I was really like, I need to take some pole dancing classes because I'm trying to be great. Like, I'm trying to, just be walking around. It be twirling around, and then was it M-I, cricket letter, M-I, cricket letter, I, cricket letter, I. She was killing me. Like, on the show, it was sad when it came to like, obviously she was in a domestic violence relationship, and she was basically trying to cover it up. And then if y'all ain't watched the season finale, like, okay, you're gonna have to fast forward or something because I'm about to spill some tea. So like, Diamond, the little light-skinned fella, he whooping her boyfriend's ass and she gonna pull a gun out on Diamond. I'm like, girl, what is you doing? Like, Diamond, he told you he could handle this. Let him handle this. Let him handle this. You gonna pull a gun out on Diamond? And then, oh girl, I forgot her name, Haley, was giving me Ronnie vibes from the Players Club when she had that blonde wig on with her and Mercedes. I don't think at first that's when they were like basically taking money out of like the not money laundering thing, but they was over here, the whole Bunny and Clyde, Thelma and Louise type shit. And I was loving the versatile when it came to the hairstyles, but she was giving me Ronnie vibes with that blonde wig for real. That's the show, like, really, I truly enjoyed it. I watched all 7 episodes probably in less than a week, and I was really upset when I realized that I was like close to the end of the season. I think I realized that on episode 5. And I'm like, it's only 7 episodes? Are you freaking kidding me? But they got renewed for season 2, so I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna be ready to, to see what they got going on at the paint, since Haley done bought it and her and Uncle Clifford are gonna be like partners, which I feel like is gonna be interesting. And then I love the fact that Loretta Devine was in the show. Like, she gave me life. Like, I love me some Loretta Devine. But the show was great. Like, I hope if y'all haven't already watched it that you do watch it. It comes on HBO. It's 7 episodes for season 1. So definitely take a look at that. Let me know what you think. I want to hear who's actually already watched it, who hasn't watched it, who's planning on watching it. But the show was like epic. Like, I'm just jealous that I wasn't actually watching it probably when everybody else was. But then at the same time, I'm kind of glad because I got a chance to just watch the whole full season when I wanted to watch it. Next, Netflix brought back Girlfriends, which excuse me, we already knew it was coming back because they had already brought back Moesha, and well, they had not brought back, but they have their seasons on there. So they brought Moesha. The game Sister was on, I think, earlier this week, and then now it's Girlfriends. And it's so interesting watching it now that I'm older with Girlfriends, because the first episode, child, I was like, Tony over here dating Jones like ex and talking about it's fine, we shared everything since the 5th grade. No, it's not, sis. No, it's not. Like, we don't need to be sharing men, boo. And then the dude was over here talking about licking toes. Homeboy had painted her toes to get ready, prepare to lick them. And it's crazy because that's the guy that actually is on Grey's Anatomy as Miranda's husband. So it's just so interesting seeing them back then, like, kind of, I guess, really, you know, starting their career, to how much all of the actors and actresses have developed since then. I can't wait to finish watching the whole, like, all of the seasons for Girlfriends, because I love Tracy Ellis Ross. She's so beautiful. She's such a great actress, and I've been waiting for them to bring this back. That way I could really fully watch Girlfriend, because I didn't watch like all of the seasons, but I did watch a lot of episodes. And man, they was like bony as hell. like I know I want to talk because y'all be saying that like I'm skinny and stuff like that, but I gained a little bit of weight, and it seems like they've gained weight over the time, like over the years as they gotten older. And it looks great on them, but they was like really like just very slim. But I'm just excited really to watch it. I'm just excited to watch Sister over again. They look so young and so cute. It's adorable. And like with Jackie, and I forgot the Ray's real name. And then I haven't even started rewatching the game yet, but I am planning on rewatching that soon. It's gonna take me time. I got Moesha to catch up on, got Girlfriends. It's probably gonna be like Girlfriends, Moesha, Sister, and then the game, honestly. Next topic is we're gonna be talking about the NBA playoffs. So if you guys haven't been watching it, you know, the NBA has been going on in the bubble in Orlando, and now we're getting to, I think it's the Western Conference finals and the Eastern Conference finals. So last night the Lakers and the Rockets played against each other. The Rockets lost. I think it was 4-1, and boy, I don't know what the Rockets need to do, but they got to figure out something, because at this point, like, y'all can't get a championship. I don't know who y'all need to cut loose or who y'all need to get, but y'all need to get somebody, because James Harden be doing that same fucking dribble, shoot at the three, or dribble, run in the paint, try and get a foul, try and do a layup, can't do a layup, pass it out. And Westbrook be acting erratic, and at the same time, he be either running in trying to get a foul or trying to throw a mid-range or not passing to somebody. Like, it's just too much. Like, y'all need to get it together, and y'all need to, if it's going to be Westbrook and Harden, like, that are going to continue to be on the team, y'all need to get a third person, because y'all two can't do it yourself. I hate to say it like that, but you can't do it. Y'all two can't do it yourselves. Like, y'all got your ass beat. like 4 games. Now, I will admit the Lakers lost that first game because I feel like they was just not prepared. I don't know why they weren't prepared, because they had time to rest, but they were not prepared at all. And then they came back and they got the shit together. Like, last night's game, the Lakers were up like 20 something to like 8 or 9, and Anthony Davis hadn't even scored yet. Like, how y'all letting the Lakers do this and Anthony Davis hasn't even scored yet? Like, they actually had Caldwell Pope, which I don't even know why he's on the team still, because I don't like Caldwell Pope. Like, he's just there just to be there and to collect the check. But Caldwell Pope had hit a 3. One of the Morris twins had hit a 3. I think Danny Green had hit a 3 too. And LeBron was going off, finally. So, overall, Rockets, y'all got to think of something to come correct for next year, because y'all ain't ever going to get a ring if you keep doing what you're doing. And y'all should have never got rid of Capella, because now y'all over here trying to play small ball, and it's just not working for you at all. And when it comes to, what was it, the Celtics versus the Raptors, that was a good series to watch, but it should have never got down to Game 7. Celtics, I'm gonna need y'all to get it together because I fuck with y'all. But that was just ridiculous. First of all, I don't understand how y'all keep letting Kyle Lowry getting charges on y'all. Like that's just ridiculous. Y'all know he gonna try to get a charge, but here we are. Even though I will admit, in that last game, the game 7, he got fouled out in the 4th quarter, which was like interesting because I didn't expect that to happen. But it should have never got to game 7. Like, I was really disappointed because I thought y'all was about to just do a sweep. And I know, like, you know, that's where I will give the Raptors their props because they were the reigning champs. But it's just kind of like, it showed that they are a good team overall. It's just like, it should have never got to game 7. Like, it shit was just ridiculous. And now the Celtics are going against the Heat, baby. And I don't even know who to go for. Like, I already know Theo's probably going to go for the Heat. And I'm going to go for the Celtics because I do root for the Celtics. But I like watching the Heat also. So this is going to be a great playoff series. I hope that the Celtics win. But I won't be upset if the Heat wins. If that makes sense. Like, I won't be upset at all if the Heat wins. But I definitely won't be upset if the Celtics wins because I feel like the Celtics deserve it. They're a good team. And they have good overall players. Like, everybody, like, they really work with each other. Like, it's bona fide, like, teamwork. Because sometimes Kemba Walker, he's supposed to be the star player. And he don't be coming through. So now it kind of just seems like it's Jason Tatum's the team at this point. So we going to see who going to win between the Celtics and the Heat. And then with the Lakers, I don't know whether they're going to be playing against the Clippers or the Nuggets. Because the Clippers, like, come on, y'all. How the hell y'all got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and y'all are struggling like this? And you have Doc Rivers as your coach. Like, honestly, it's just ridiculous. It shouldn't even be like this. Like, y'all should have been beat the Nuggets. The Nuggets, like, struggled to get past the Jazz. So it's like, for when the Nuggets were tired coming out, they had to do a game 7 with them. And now y'all got to do another game 7. And if the Clippers end up losing, I don't even know what to tell y'all. Like, I'm like, throw the whole team away. Or at least get rid of Paul George. Because Paul George, me and Theo were talking, and he has said how Paul George, he hasn't really made like a buzzer beater his whole career. And I'm like, that's a damn shame. Like, how are you going to be trying to say that you're like one of the elite players, but you haven't made a buzzer beater your whole career? Like, that don't make any sense to me. So I'm curious to see who is going to end up winning between the Clippers and the Nuggets and facing off against the Lakers. So next topic is Lovecraft Country on HBO. I don't know how many of y'all have been watching it, but I've been watching it. And it's like it's either 4 or 5 episodes so far. When I tell y'all that show is so good, like, it's just so good. And at the same time, sometimes the stuff a lot of the stuff that's in it really pisses you off. But the acting is amazing. The visuals for the episodes are amazing by far. I honestly feel like whenever I watch an episode, I'm watching like 2 to 3 different episodes because there's always so much going on, but it's so much going on that it keeps you engaged in the episode. And you're like, what's gonna happen next? Like, what is gonna happen with this person? Da 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 da. Like, it's great acting, and I am so happy to be able to watch this while this is going on at this point in time, and to be able to really appreciate the actors and actresses that are on the show. Like, I can't wait to see what's going to happen in this next episode that actually comes on tonight, this Sunday. And if you guys have been watching it, let me know what you think about the show. Or if you're going to start watching it, because like, when I tell you, like, that show is like legit, like, it's sci-fi type shit at times, but then it's like, it also brings up like racial things that occurred back in the day. And I was thinking, I was like, okay, with some of the stuff that they're showing in these episodes, now they're just showing like probably like the bare minimum, but think about being black back then and experiencing stuff like that, and a lot of times it probably was far worse than what's being depicted on a TV show. So keep that in mind when you watch that. Like, you know, really put some thought into like everything that they're showing on this show when it comes to like how the police handled black people, or like just how people acted towards Black people. Like I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say, but just know that it's a good show that's worth at least watching one episode. I feel like if you watch one episode, you will get hooked into it. They are long though, it's an hour long, and like I said, it feels like you're watching like so many different things, but it's worth it. So Patti LaBelle and Miss Gladys Knight are doing the verses, boo, and I did not see this coming like at all. And I'm gonna watch a little bit of it. I don't know if I'm gonna watch the whole thing. Man, I honestly don't even know what to say. I used to listen to Patti LaBelle back in the day. My mom loves her some Patti LaBelle, and I don't think my mom really listened to Gladys Knight like that. Like she listened to Gladys Knight, but like she never played it like really around us. So, my heart is more towards Patti than it is towards Gladys. However, I have the utmost respect for Miss Gladys Knight because her voice is so amazing, and she seems like such a sweet soul. She look like she don't take no shit. She do look like she don't take no shit. But so does Patti. I still remember on what was the name of that show? The Apollo. I think Patti LaBelle had came on there one time, and there was this little boy that was trying to sing her song, and she told him that for him to really sing it the way he needs to sing it, he gotta make like the ugliest face in the world to sing, and she had her face all scrunched up and all this extra stuff. And I don't know why that always like stuck out to me. Like I was like, that's one thing that I remember dealing with Patti LaBelle, other than her like sweet potato pies, which I'm gonna be real, y'all, those pies, they don't taste that good to me. I'm sorry, Miss LaBelle, but I didn't like the pie. I didn't like it. I don't know. I mean, to each his own. And I know there's probably a lot of people that love them some Patti pies, but I'm not one of them. However, I still love listening to some Patti LaBelle and some Gladys Knight, so I will be tuning in a little bit for the verses. Knowing me, I'm probably gonna have to go over to my mama's house to, help her set it up a little bit, because I have put up a post on Facebook, and she had messaged me and was like, what are you talking about dealing with Patti and Gladys Knight, and what is this, a verses? Why they spell verses like that? They don't know how to spell verses right. So like, yeah, it's coming on tonight. They're gonna be battling on Instagram, so more than likely I'm gonna be setting it up for her to watch. Y'all, I will let you know if I am, but she loved her some Patti LaBelle, so I'm pretty sure that I am. Naomi Osaka, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. She won the U.S. Open title at the age of 22. This is her second time winning it. And while she's been competing, she's been wearing face masks that have said different people's names that actually have passed away due to racial injustices. I believe one was like Tamar Rice. Who else? I think she had one that for Breonna Taylor. She had 7, and I wish I remember all of the names, but I kind of just wanted to say something dealing with that, because I feel like that's very brave of her to do so, and that's very brave at such a young age to be on that type of stage and to wear face masks that says people's names like that will cause controversy. But she like, I don't give a fuck, like y'all are gonna see this and you're gonna know how I feel about this situation. So I just wanted to touch base on that real quick. Okay, you guys, so the next subject that we're actually going to be talking about is dealing with Will Smith and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's cast. So in case you guys haven't already seen, they're actually reuniting, or they actually have already reunited for an episode on HBO. And on it, they actually have both of the Aunt Vibs, which is amazing, because as y'all know, it's been a lot of controversy over the years when it came to why the original Aunt Viv was let go, also known as like they called her like the dark skinned Aunt Viv and then the light skinned Aunt Viv. And I think it's good that they all finally reunited, or at least from the clip it showed that Will Smith and the original Aunt Viv talked. Because when I tell y'all, she had went off before on like a clip, I think on Facebook, and she was like going in on Will and about how he acted whenever he was on the show. And she went off, I feel like she went off about like the lady that ended up replacing her. It was a big deal. And then it was kind of like, it was messed up the way that they replaced her. I feel like it, because they didn't, I mean, I know shows don't have to give an explanation, but they didn't give any type of explanation. Everybody loved that Aunt Viv. Like, she was like, I like the original Aunt Viv like 10 times better than the Aunt Viv that they had playing. Like, she was just like they just had her being like soft and stuff like that on the show. And the OG Aunt Viv, she didn't take no shit whenever whenever they had her playing her character. So I'm excited to actually watch this show, or at least this episode, to see what they discuss, if they were actually able to get past different things that happened before and actually have like a cordial conversation. And I'm curious whether on it, is everybody going to be in the room with each other, like including both of the Aunt Vivs, or are they still going to be like separated? So whenever that comes out, we'll actually talk about it some more and really get like a feel for what happened in that episode. So be on the lookout. It's coming out on HBO. I'm not sure of the exact date, but trust me, whenever it does come out, I will be watching it. And then Will Smith is actually supposed to be doing like a reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in a way. I can't think of what television network they said that it was going to be on, but I'm excited to see how that would turn out as well. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is Cuties, the movie on Netflix. So there has been a lot of controversy when it comes to that, because people have been saying that the children that were in the show, in the movie, were over sexualized. I haven't had an opportunity to watch it to see whether that's the case or not, but I will say this from the I'm trying to think of how to describe it, from the photo of I'm like the photo of the show, well, not the show, the movie. I don't really like the way the little girls were dressed personally. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I feel like I'm assuming in it there was more issues. I did kind of watch the trailer a little bit, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch the entire movie and kind of see. I want to see what the director said, as well as like the producer, and I think it was like an indie film at first originally. So I kind of want to see what they said for the reason why this movie was made and what they were trying to portray. But I have seen it where a lot of people are saying like cancel Netflix and stuff like that, because they feel like they are over sexualizing children. So I'll find out some more information on that, and then we'll probably discuss it in the next podcast, because by then I'll probably been to watch the movie and like taking some notes. That way I can kind of give you guys more information. And then if you all have already watched it as well, then let me know what you think about it. Do you feel like Netflix should be canceled because of the show, or do you feel like they should have, like, even though they had already worked and edited and created it, do you think that maybe they should have just taken it down? Because I feel like it was like a month or two ago where people had saw like the trailer and the poster for it, and they had issues with it to begin with, and then it's actually come out. Now the movie has came out, and now people are saying that y'all just need to cancel it all together. So we'll see what happens next. I'm really curious. Ellen's TV show is actually coming back. If you guys actually follow me on YouTube, then you would see that I've talked about her show a few times when it came to the controversy behind it, because people have been saying that there's been like some racial stuff that's been occurring, the way that Ellen talks to different people, that some of the people that work with her have been degrading the employees and stuff like that. And there's just been like a lot of issues and controversy when it comes to her show. But it's actually coming back on the 21st of this month, and supposedly Ellen said that she's going to be discussing everything that's been going on in the news when it comes to her show. So I'm kind of interested to see what she's going to say, if she's going to just try and downplay it, because what was it? I think 3 executive producers had got fired while all of this was going on. And then I feel like she gave like some people some raises or, you know, some compensation, something like that. But, you know, it's just been a mess. It's just been a shit show to the point where people were like trying to cancel her show. Like, you know, this is a year and last year where everybody just like cancel this, cancel that. And they was really ready to cancel Ellen ass. But she like, I'm back. And we gonna talk about it. So I'm curious how that will end up turning out. Power is back. This Power book 2 and it's Ghost. So this one is mainly gonna be focusing on, I think, on his son, and I think on Tasha. I haven't watched the first episode yet. I keep seeing like clips of it. Like when we were at Theo's parents' house, his dad was watching a little bit and I kind of caught part of it, but I need to rewatch the first episode tonight because episode 2 is coming on, and I really want to, you know, get into this one because I know they have Mary J. Blige and Tasha on it, not Tasha, Method Man on there too. So I'm excited to see their acting skills when it comes to that, because, you know, I like me some Mary. I know she don't like being called auntie, but, you know, you giving me auntie vibes with them boots and the you know, the dance moves and everything like that. Like that's auntie. Like, I'm sorry, you auntie to me. You ain't like sis, because you like almost 50. So take this auntie title and keep it. So I'm curious to see what 50 Cent has did for this series. I will admit, 50 Cent, he knows how to make a good TV show, because, boy, when I tell you, he had everybody hooked with Power. And then the show For Life that's on it's on ABC, that was a good series too. So I feel like he can do no wrong when it comes to making shows. However, when it comes to his comments, he should just keep them to himself, because he just be running off at the mouth. It don't make no sense. And now what we're about to get into is our main topic for this podcast. And we're going to be talking about, when should you let a friend go? Now, this is a tough topic to discuss, because a lot of times when it comes to friendships, you know, you go do different ways and stuff like that, where you may not talk to a friend for a while, or like y'all just grow apart and then y'all end up coming back together. Like, I feel like that can be healthy in a friendship, where like, okay, like you doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, but at the end of the day, we still have love for each other. I'm checking up on you, you check up on me occasionally. And when we come together, it's like there was no time apart, no distance or anything like that. I feel like friendships like that can actually work, because I have different friendships like that, where it's like, okay, I might not talk to you every single day, I might not see you every single day, I might go like months without talking to you, but at the same time, when I see you in person, like, I am beyond overjoyed and happy to be in your presence, and I feel like the feeling is mutual, and I feel as though like we never missed a beat. Like, I'm thankful that I have friendships like that in my life, where like, okay, like you might stay like 3-4 hours away, but when I see you, like we're like this, and it doesn't feel like a toxic friendship. Like, there, you can have friendships where it is literally like draining for you to be around that person, or draining for you to talk to them, because for one, they might always be talking about something negative, or like, you know, you tell them good news and they basically like shit on your news, or like, you know, like, it's some people. Like, for me, there's some friends where I'm like excited to tell them my news, and other people where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep this to myself. And if I have to keep it to myself, then I feel like then we're not as close. We're not really that close, because it's like certain things, like, for one, I'm a very private person. So if I tell you something about myself, or tell you something that I have planned, like, know that like I'm sharing a part of myself with you, and that I trust you and I value your opinion, and like I know that you would be genuinely happy for me. But it's been instances where I've had friendships before where I would tell somebody something and they would make it seem like it was like this big, like it was the smallest thing on earth, where, you know, I was excited to share that with them because I thought that they were a true friend, but I learned that they weren't. Or it's just like, it's just the friendship just genuinely feels like unhealthy. And that's just like sad. It should never get to that point where you don't even want to share with your friend, or you don't even want to be around them. If that's the case, then y'all do need to grow apart, and in some instances you need to cut them loose, because it's toxic. And it's sad when it gets to that level, because a lot of times you may have had like really good memories with them and you thought that y'all would be friends for forever, but I mean, sometimes it just doesn't happen like that. And it's okay to cut a friend off. Like, I've had to cut a few people off in my life, and while I wish nothing for the best for them, I know that I don't need them in my circle. I don't need them in my life for me to continue to do what I need to do. And that's just how I feel about like certain friendships like that. Especially like if you feel like you're being like manipulated, and you feel as though, I'm trying to figure out how to describe this. If you feel like you're being manipulated by the person, you should never feel like you're being manipulated by like a true friend. Like, that should never even cross your mind. You should always feel like the friendship is genuine. And like, if for instance, if they ask you like how you're doing, or are you okay, like, it's genuine. It's not like they're asking you information like that so they can try and be nosy and find out what's going on in your life, so that way they can tell somebody else. That's when you have a problem. That's when you should know, like, okay, if I tell this friend this, and then 2-3 other people know my business, that's a problem. That's not a true friendship. Or like, if you actually work on your friendship, like for my friends, like some of them, we have group chats. Other ones, like I just text, like it's just them. But it's like, you know, I try and check up on my friends. I'm not gonna say like I'm the best friend in the world when it comes to checking up on my friends, but it's like, if I ask you like if you're okay, like I genuinely mean it. Like, I really want to know how you're doing. I really want to know how your day is. Like, I really want to know what you've been up to, how you're feeling, how's your family. Like, it's to that extent. Like, I'm not just asking you that just to like ask you but not really listen. Like, for some of my friends, like I'm basically like the therapist, and then for other friends, they're like the therapist to me. So it's like, I care about my friends. Like, all of the people that I consider friends, they're like either my sisters or like my brothers. So it's like, it's not some term that I throw around loosely. And I remember there was one time that one of my coworkers, excuse me, I think she only been working there for like 2 or 3 weeks, and like we got along well and everything like that. And she asked me if we were friends yet, and I said no. And I think that kind of had upset her. But it's like, that term, like, I don't use that term like loosely. Like, I don't use that term loosely at all. Like, I have to really care about you and want to be like around you for me to call you like a friend. And it wasn't like trying to be mean towards her or anything like that, because it's like, I feel like eventually we could have really became friends. But it's like, at that point in time, like, if I call you that, you have to be somebody special to me. And I feel like that's one thing that some people don't realize. They're quick to kind of throw around like, oh, this is my friend, this is my best friend, da da da. You can't just do that nowadays, because people are shady and they will manipulate you, and they will just talk so much shit about you. So it's like, you have to be aware of who you give your energy to, because a friendship, like, you know, you have a relationship with your significant other, but you also have a relationship with your friend. It's just on a different level. Like, you share intimate things with your friends, and they share intimate things with you too. And I mean, like, your feelings and stuff like that. So it's like, you can't use that term lightly. And I don't feel like you should. Like, I feel like friendship is something that should be cherished, and you shouldn't want to do harm to somebody that you call your friend. And you should always root them on, even if you may not be doing well when it comes to what you have going on in your life. If a friend is coming to you and are like, I just graduated, or I'm going to this school, or I'm starting this new job, like, you should be genuinely happy for them, because that's a new stepping stone for them. And if you're not, you need to take a look at yourself and figure out, why are you upset or why are you angry at the fact that somebody else is doing well just because you're not? Because it's like, I feel like you should always root on your friends in any endeavor that they do, and you should always be supportive of them, because if they feel like they can trust you enough to share like a part of them, like share an accomplishment, then you should really be thankful. And I know y'all probably think I just went on a rant, but like, friendship is really important to me. I don't share a lot of stuff with a lot of people, so it's like, if I do, then know that you mean so much to me. And I feel like that's one way that somebody should always look at friendship. And if they don't, then you really need to take a step back and figure out what's going on with yourself and why you feel like you should treat other people like that. Finally, you guys, this is like basically the end of the podcast. I'm doing my Say suggestions, and this time I'm going to be going off and talking about this podcast called The Read. It's with Crystal and Kid Fury. First of all, shout out to Ellie, because she's the one that told me about them originally. And they're one of the reasons why I actually decided to start doing a podcast. They always have good energy. They're always entertaining. And I genuinely like enjoy listening to them, like in the car, when I listen to, like in the shower or at work. Like, they help get me through the day sometimes, because they're talking about the most random shit. Which is why I was like, well, I like to talk about random shit too. And sometimes I have a speaking voice and other times I don't. But it's like, I feel like they're a good podcast to listen to because they're entertaining, and they genuinely seem like they enjoy being around each other, and they also help promote like different organizations, different people. Like, they're always like uplifting someone. So I feel like you guys should listen to their podcast. Also come back and listen to mine after you listen to theirs. But don't forget to check out their podcast. Don't forget to check out my other episodes that I already have uploaded. I'm going to go ahead and dip out on this point because I don't have anything else to add, and my voice is sounding like extremely raspy for no reason. So I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this podcast. Don't forget to send me questions on either Instagram or Snapchat, or it's either email me and I will include them in the podcast. That way we can talk about it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.